What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the best damn Callisto guide ever. In this guide, we're going to cover just exactly how you should be approaching Callisto. There are lure spots where you will take absolutely no damage once the spot is set up, and I am going to show you those along with some different requirement sets, gear setups, layouts, mechanics, and attacks, and all that good stuff. So, without further ado, let's get started. Suggested requirements. Normally in these videos, I do have hard requirements that also come along with this, but seeing as how Callisto is accessible by anyone in the wilderness, we're not going to go over hard requirements because there are none. We're going to start off here with suggested requirements, and I have 3 of them up here, depending on which method you might choose to do Callisto. For the Verac method, which would be the Barrow's armor set, 80 attack, strength, and 70 defense is what you're going to want to have, as well as level 70 prayer for the piety prayer. For the Viggora's Chainmace method, it actually does work pretty well at 60 attack, which is the minimum level required to wield it. I am going to suggest that you have 80 strength for some DPS there, and 43 prayer at a minimum. If you are on a pure account, this is going to be the method that you want to use. As for the range method, level 80 ranged with the crossbow is what I would recommend, as well as 44 prayer at a minimum for the Eagle Eye prayer. 3 methods here, 2 of them which are pure friendly, and the Verac method for mains, all of which you could probably pull out depending on what your account type is. Location and how to get there. I'm going to be showing you guys 5 different ways to get to Callisto. The first one, we are going to start out with the Annakarl Teleport. This is an ancient magic spell, which you can obviously use runes, or you can buy a teleport tablet to use. I prefer the teleport tablet because it takes up less spots. Obviously, I'm not going to bring a rune pouch into the wilderness just for some teleports. So the Annakarl Teleport tablet, very easy. It'll teleport you to the demonic ruins. You're going to head to the east, south, and once you get around the lava over to the west, Callisto is right there. The next method is going to be the Wilderness Obelisk. Now, I only recommend you use the Wilderness Obelisk if you have the Wilderness Hard Diaries done. Once you have the Wilderness Hard Diaries done, you can choose the destination of the obelisk. So you can pick the level 50 obelisk, then head to the east, south, around the lava, over to the west, and there is Callisto. If you don't have the hard diaries done, then you could just possibly be teleporting around forever till you get lucky and get that level 50 portal. Next up is going to be the Wilderness Sword 4 method, and this is for our friends out there that do have the Wilderness Diaries completely completed. The Wilderness Sword 4 will give you unlimited teleports to the Fountain of Rune. You'll just follow the path out of there, a little bit southwest and then to the west, and once again, Callisto is right there near the lava pit. Next up is going to be the Wilderness Crabs Teleport. Now, these teleport tablets actually are quite expensive, like 25,000 GP each or something like that, maybe more, can't quite remember at the moment, but it is a pretty viable way to get there if you're confident you're going to stay for a while and not get PK'd. If you do use the Wilderness Crabs Teleport, it will just run north to the west, and once again, you will find Callisto roaming around somewhere in the area. The last method that I am going to show you is going to be the Wilderness Canoe. The Wilderness Canoe will take you over there about mid-wilderness near the Moss Giants. Once you get off the canoe, you can head to your east, then to the northeast, and once again, Callisto will be roaming around the lava pit. Now, obviously, there are other methods to get to Callisto, all of which are farther away than all of the methods that I just showed you. So if you do know something else, maybe that works a little bit better for you, by all means, use that method. Suggested gear setups. For our gear setups in this video, I usually do take you guys through a low, medium, and high tier, as well as my preferred setup. But for this video, since we have 3 different methods of killing Callisto successfully, I'm only going to take you through 3 suggested gear setups for that particular method, 1 each. So we're going to start off with Viggora's Chainmace setup. This is the gear and inventory. Now, obviously, I am showing this on a main account. This is what I take. Personally, I want to give a PKer the least amount of money that I possibly can. So in the green boxes are my 4 protected items. That is with the protect item prayer on. Knit's Not Face Guard. I have the Arty Cloak 4 here, but if you do have 1, 2, or 3, you can also use that, and I'll explain why the Arty Cloak in just a second. Amulet of Torture, another protected item. Bronze Arrows for aggroing Callisto. The Viggora's Chainmace actually is best at Callisto on the stab option, which is why we use the Ardoin Cloak. Proselyte plate and legs. A Verac Defender is my other and last protected item. I'm also using rune gloves and climbing boots, but if you want to upgrade those to something you're not worried about losing the money to a PKer, by all means, you could use Barrow's gloves and something like dragon boots if you'd like. And my last item is going to be the imbued Ring of Wealth. I do like having these because I like to get more clue scrolls in the wilderness, so it is beneficial. Alternatively, you could swap that out for an Explorer's Ring for a little bit of an extra prayer bonus. Over in the inventory, I have a set of black dragon hides, and this is to attempt to get away from PKers should I get caught out there. 2 Saradomin brews, along with 2 super restores for some survivability. 1 super combat potion. And this is going to be the Divine. I only want to stay out there for a maximum of 20 minutes before I bank, if I even make it that long. 3 prayer potions. I do have 2 Karambwans and the rest Manta Rays, and this is for a triple combo. Eat Manta Ray, brew, Karambwan. You can heal up a lot of HP in 1 game tick. I also have a stamina potion for, once again, getting away from PKers and getting to the area. The magic longbow is used for aggroing Callisto, which I will show you in a bit. And I personally use the Wilderness Sword 4 method at the Fountain of Rune to get there, so you can replace that depending on which method you are choosing. Up next is going to be the Verac's armor setup, and for this one we will be using the full Verac's armor set, which is the helmet, the brassard, the skirt, and the flail. As for the Arty Cloak, once again, the flail at Callisto is best on stab, so you want to have a good stab bonus there. Amulet of Torture, Verac's flail, brassard, and skirt are my 4 protected items. You will actually lose the helmet if you decide to do this method. Bronze arrows, again, for aggroing Callisto. Rune gloves, climbing boots, and this time I have an Explorer's Ring, and I want to maximize my prayer bonus with this one because it is a little less accurate than the Viggora's Chainmace. It's a little bit less DPS, so the prayer extension will actually help you out. Over in the inventory, it is 100% identical to the Viggora's Chainmace method. There are no changes there, so if you did skip ahead to this, maybe you can go back to the Viggora's method and hear about the inventory explanation. For the last setup, we are going to check out the ranged setup for this particular method. I do enjoy using the crossbow at Callisto with the safe spot. As for this setup, I'm using a Guthix coif. Obviously, any of the blessed coifs will work. Just find whichever one is cheapest at the time you're buying one and use that one. I'm also using an Ava's Assembler, but if you don't want to risk one of your precious Vorkath heads, then you should just use an accumulator. Works just as well, but you will drop that passive range strength bonus. As for the amulet, that is going to be your first protected item, the Necklace of Anguish. I'm also using a Rada's Blessing because the crossbow uses ether as the ammunition. Crossbow is my weapon, another protected item. Black Dragon Hide, top and legs. Barrow's Gloves, protected item number 3, and Blessed Boots, protected item number 4. For this one, I also have the Ring of Wealth imbued. Now, the Guthix boots are a protected item here, and if you want to, you can swap that out for something else such as an Armadale chestplate or the Pegasian boots. It really just depends on what you're willing to lose, so you can play around with the items. This is just personally what I take. As for the inventory, 1 Divine Ranging Potion, a Stamina Potion, 2 Saradomin Brews, 2 Super Restores, 2 Karambwans, 4 Prayer Potions. Fill up the inventory with Manta Rays. I also have a Royal Seed Pod in this one, and that is my method to get out. I did not include this in the other ones, but it is a method to get out of the wilderness. You can teleport at level 30 or below at this, and once again, the Wilderness Sword is going to be my method to get to Callisto. The last thing I want to say about the gear setups is if you're looking at these and none of these really work for you, check in the description below. I've recently put out a Callisto gear progression guide, so you can go through and see whatever else might work and what you might have as an available option. Boss room layout. All right, so with Callisto doesn't really have a boss room. But for the boss room layout section, we are going to check out where the safe spot areas are for this boss. So the first thing I want to show you is the general area of where the safe spot is going to be. In the green circle, this is the area where the safe spot is going to take place. If you look at the smaller red circle, that is where you're going to end up to finish out the kill. All right, so now that you know the general area of where you're going to be fighting in, what we can move into now is particular tiles that you want to mark. So if you're using a third-party client like RuneLite or OSBuddy or some other approved client, you have the ability to do this. So the first one is we're going to check out the melee marked tiles. Now the melee and the range are going to be very similar, but we'll do melee first, and this will work for both the Verac's method, Viggora's Chainmace, or any other melee weapon that you want to use. So on the screen, you can see the tiles that are marked. The green tiles are indicator tiles just to show you how far away from certain objects that you want to mark your tiles. The yellow tiles also have labels in them, and those are going to be the number of positions that you want to move, up to 5 in the melee. So before you start your fight at Callisto, you'll want to mark these yellow tiles so you can make sure you know where to move for when I explain it in the example kills. Next is going to be the ranged mark tiles. It is nearly identical, but we have lost tile number 5. With the ranged method, you're going to mark all the way up to the same tiles, up to number 4. You don't need 5 for the ranged method. Once you get to number 4, that will be it. That's where you stop. You can range Callisto from that spot safely without taking any damage. And once again, I'll go over this in the kill example clip. Mechanics and attacks. Callisto does have 4 different mechanics and attacks, the first of which being the basic attack, which is just the melee attack. Callisto will lunge at you, and he can deal heavy damage with this, but since we're safe spotting, we don't have to worry about that one. The next one is the shockwave, and he will unleash a shockwave against the target. Also, we don't really have to worry about this one since we're going to be safe spotting. The one we have to worry about is actually going to be the knockback. This is a projectile attack, which you can see displaying in the video right now. When this projectile hits you, it will knock you back several spaces. Now, the thing to keep in mind about this is this can happen anytime, even when you are luring Callisto to the safe spot. It can possibly knock you out of range of Callisto's roam area, and I was lucky enough to actually get a clip of this in the kill example clip, which I will show you, and it actually messes up my safe spot, but it's very easy to fix. So we'll check that out in just a moment. And last is going to be the heal attack, another one we don't have to worry about because we are going to be safe spotting. Typically, a blast would appear under Callisto, and it will heal Callisto for a small amount. But once again, you'll be safe spotting Callisto. No need to worry about that. Example fights and kills. All right, so the first example kill that we're going to go through is going to be the melee kill. And for this one, we're going to start with our magic longbow equipped. We're going to want to poke Callisto once with 1 arrow to aggro Callisto. That way he will start coming towards you. I also want to throw this out there. The magic longbow has a special attack called Power Shot. It is guaranteed to hit the target. It uses 35% of special attack energy. So if you want to use that, by all means, throw it out there. After your magic longbow poke, you will want to head over to tile marker 1, which is where you can see me standing right now. At this point, Callisto will start to approach you, and it will get stuck behind a tree. After you can clearly see Callisto is stuck, proceed to tile marker 2. After you reach 2, you can immediately click on tile marker 3 and run all the way down south to that one. After you've reached tile number 3, what you will want to do is wait until Callisto is approaching you, and as soon as you see Callisto come up to this line of tiles, you will want to click on tile number 4. Tile number 4 will move you out of Callisto's roam range, but at this point Callisto is stuck. Callisto cannot do anything, so at the time of your choosing or whenever you are ready, you can click and proceed to tile number 5. Now at this point, you literally just stand here and smack Callisto with your flail until the kill is over. The extended tiles past number 5 that are marked, this is the edge of Callisto's roam area. So if you pull Callisto over this line, the safe spot will mess up and you will have to fix it. It's very simple to do. You can just go back into Callisto's roam range, which would be working for tile number 3, and poke it one more time, proceed back to tile number 4, and you will have fixed your safe spot. Next up, we will check out our ranged lure. Now this one is almost identical all the way up to tile number 4. We're just going to be missing tile number 5, but we'll explain that when we get there. So once again, run up to Callisto with your crossbow or whatever ranged weapon you're using. Poke Callisto once, then proceed over to tile number 1. Once you can see Callisto at the tree, you will then proceed to tile number 2. Once you know that it's stuck, tile number 3. Now at this point, this is where Callisto actually hits me with the projectile attack while I'm in the middle of the lure, and you'll see it actually conveniently pushes me to tile number 4, but unfortunately I'm at tile number 4 too early. So Callisto loses the aggression towards me. All I have to do here is step back into the aggressive range, which is tile number 3, shoot Callisto once, and then pull it back over into tile number 4. Callisto will then be vulnerable. You can proceed with the kill from here. You don't have to move anywhere else. Once you are on tile number 4, it is completely safe to attack Callisto. Callisto will not move. Additionally, this is a non-multi-combat area, so it's great for encountering PKers. You only have to deal with one person at a time. If you do happen to get teleblocked, if you can tank out the teleblock, then proceed down to 30 Wilderness. Make sure you run straight down. It is all single combat, and you can teleport away. From here on tile number 4, ranged Callisto for the duration of the kill, and that is all you have to do. Ending words. Alright everybody, that is going to do it for the best damn Callisto guide ever. I hope that this video has been informative for you, and if you didn't know something, well I hope you do now. And if you didn't know how to set up a lure in the wilderness, well now you do. As usual, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up down below. They really do help the video's popularity. And if you haven't done so yet, tap that subscribe button on your way out. All of your guys' support for my channel really means a lot to me. So with that guys, I will see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.